Namaste students, I am JVN Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Salakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today the topic of discussion is deafness. There are two terms. First one is deafness, second one is the hearing impairment. These are two different things actually. Okay? In the hearing impairment, it refers to the complete or partial loss of the ability to hear from one or both ears. The level of impairment can be mild, moderate, severe, or profound. Whereas deafness, it refers to the complete loss of ability to hear from one or both ears. These are two different things. Definition is given by the WHO. There is three types of deafness. First one is conductive deafness, second one is sensorineural deafness or perceptive deafness, third one is a mixed deafness. What is conductive deafness? It is due to the defect in the conducting mechanism of the ear, namely external and the middle ear. The second one, the sensorineural deafness, it is due to the lesions in the labyrinth or eighth nerve and central connections. It includes the psychogenic deafness. Third one is the mixed deafness. Both the above mentioned types are present in this type of deafness. That is the conductive deafness and the sensorineural deafness. Both deafness will be present in this type of deafness. In this picture, we have given the region that if there is a problem in the external and the middle ear, then there will be conductive deafness. If there will be any disease or problem in the inner ear, then it will cause a sensorineural deafness. What are the causes of conductive deafness? If there is wax in the external ear or fungus, otitis externa, foreign bodies in the external ear, polyp, laryngitis, stenosis, atresia, tumors, and there is any such type of disease in the external ear which will lead to the conductive deafness. In case of the middle ear, if there is congenital defects of the eardrum and ossicles, it can be traumatic if there is barotrauma, rupture of the eardrum, a fracture of the skull of the base of the skull. And an inflammation can lead to the conductive deafness like ASOM, CSOM, serous otitis media, adhesive otitis media. Diseases like tuberculosis and syphilitic otitis media can lead to the conductive deafness. Neoplasm or the sclerosis can also cause the conductive deafness. The causes of conductive deafness also lies in the eustachian tube. If there is eustachian catarrh, eustachian tube dysfunction due to the disease of nose, paranasal sinuses, and pharynx. If there is barotrauma, these all lead to the conductive deafness. The causes of sensorineural deafness are local causes, inner ear, congenital. They can be due to the trauma, head injury, surgical injury to the labyrinth, loud sounds, which can lead to the acute or chronic acoustic trauma, producing concussion. Infections can lead to the sensorineural deafness, like mumps, syphilis, tuberculosis, meningitis, enteric fever, labyrinthitis. Tumors can also cause sensorineural deafness, acoustic neuroma, which is a schwannoma of the cranial nerve, Meniere's disease, ototoxic drugs like streptomycin, kanamycin, neomycin, salicylates, furosemide, and quinine. These can also cause sensorineural deafness. The general causes of sensorineural deafness are presbycusis, the disease of cardiovascular system like atherosclerosis, hypertension, disease of central nervous system like disseminated sclerosis, uh, vitaminosis, hypothyroidism, smoking, alcoholism. What is presbycusis? It is a progressive bilateral symmetrical age-related sensorineural hearing loss. It is also known as the age-related hearing loss. Other causes of sensorineural deafness are psychogenic deafness, which have two types: functional or malingering. In the functional sensorineural deafness, it is due to the emotional cause, but the patient is not aware of the cause. In the malingering, no organic or psychological cause is there. The patient is aware that he is pretending to be deaf for personal gains. The causes of mixed deafness are trauma, CSM with labyrinthitis, otosclerosis, senile deafness superimposed on conductive deafness. Then comes the quantification of hearing loss. Take where which type of hearing loss is mild, when we'll call it moderate, when we'll call it severe or profound. Okay? If patient is unable to hear sound at 26 to 40 decibel, then it is called the mild hearing loss. If patient is unable to hear sound at 41 to 55 decibel, then it is a moderate hearing loss. If patient is unable to hear at the 56 to 70 decibel, then it is called a severe hearing loss. If patient is unable to hear the sound greater than 91 decibel, then it is called the profound hearing loss. Then comes the hearing assessment. Okay, there are various clinical tests of hearing like finger friction test, wash test, speech test, tuning fork test. These all tests will be taught to you in the practical class. The following tests can be performed using tuning fork. There are 8 tests which can be performed using the tuning fork. These are the Weber test, Rennie test, absolute bone conduction test, Schrebeck's test, Bing test, Stenger's test, Gale test, Shimani-Moose test. These are the pictures of Rennie test. There's the interpretation of Rennie test, in which we see whether the air conduction is more than bone conduction. Normally, the air conduction is more than bone conduction. Also, in case of sensorineural hearing loss, the air conduction is more than bone conduction. Only in case of the conductive hearing loss or the dead ear, the bone conduction is more than air conduction. Okay? There's a picture of Weber test. Interpretations of Weber test are in conductive deafness, the sound is heard loudest in the affected ear, and in sensorineural deafness, the sound is heard louder in unaffected ear. And if there is no deafness, then sound will heard where we hear the sound like that in the center of our forehead. What is absolute bone conduction test? It is a measure of the cochlear function basically. In the absolute bone conduction test, patient's bone conduction is compared with that of the examiner, presuming that the examiner has normal hearing. The external auditory meters of both the patient and examiner should be occluded by pressing the tragus inwards to prevent ambient noise entering through the AC route. In conductive deafness, the patient and the examiner hear the fork for the same duration of time. In sensorineural deafness, the patient hears the fork for a shorter duration. What is Schrebeck's test? In Schrebeck's test, we hear the bone conduction of patient is compared with that of the normal hearing person, but meters is not included. It has the same significance as absolute bone conduction test. Schrebeck is reduced in sensorineural deafness and lengthened in conductive deafness. Then comes the pure tone audiometry. It is a soundproof room person is seated comfortably. Earphones are applied which are color coded, red for the right ear, blue for the left ear. Masking sound is delivered to the non-test ear. Then we start with the frequency of 145 hertz and 0 decibel. Gradually we increase the decibel till person hears the sound and respond. Then we mark the threshold intensity on the audiogram paper. So this is a short description of the pure tone audiometry. Then comes the tympanometry. It is an examination used to test the condition of the middle ear and mobility of the eardrum and the conduction bones by creating vibrations of the air pressure in the ear canal. So, tympanometry is an objective test of the middle ear infection. Then there is the otoacoustic emissions. OAEs, these are low intensity sounds produced by the outer hair cells of a normal cochlea and can be elicited by a very sensitive microphone placed in the external ear canal and analyzed by a computer. Sound produced by outer hair cells travel in a reverse direction, like from outer hair cell to the basilar membrane to the perilymph, oval window, ossicles, tympanic membrane, ear canal. OAEs are present when outer hair cells are healthy and are absent when they are damaged and thus help to test the function of cochlea. Here comes the treatment of conductive deafness. First one, we should do the removal of canal obstruction. For example, impacted back, swollen body, osteoma, exostosis, keratotic mass, benign or malignant tumor, and metal atresia. Removal of fluid should be done, like laryngotomy should be done with or without grommet insertion. Then repair of mass from middle ear is done, like tympanotomy and removal of small middle ear tumors or cholesteatoma behind the intact tympanic membrane. Then there is stapedectomy. It is as in autosclerotic fixation of staph foot plate. Tympanoplasty should be done. It is a repair of perforation, ocular chain, or both. Hearing aid is advised for those patients who are unfit for surgery and surgery has failed. Okay, this is a picture of stapedectomy in which the stapes and the foot plate are removed. There's a picture of various hearing aids. Hearing aid is a small electronic device that you wear in or around behind your ear. It makes some sounds louder. A hearing aid can help people hear more in both quiet and noisy situations. These are the picture of a hearing aid in which various parts of the hearing aid are mentioned, like ear mold, which is placed inside the ear canal, ear hook, there's a microphone, there's a speaker, there's amplifier, and there's a place where we can place battery. Then comes the treatment of sensory hearing loss. The syphilis of inner ear is treatable with high doses of penicillin and steroids with improvement in hearing. The hearing loss of hypothyroidism can be replaced with replacement therapy. Serous labyrinthitis can be reversed by attention to middle ear infection. Ototoxic drugs should be used with care and discontinued if hearing loss is there. Carbogen may be inhaled to improve blood circulation in cochlea. Vasodilators are useful in Meniere's disease. Hearing aids should be used. Okay, there's a cochlear plant picture is given here. There's a transmitter, and behind the ear there's microphone and speech processor. Okay, so here completes the hearing loss or deafness topic.